What's going on, everybody? It's Rick from Worms with Rick. This here is my European nightcrawler bin, and it's a half a rain barrel. I got a little cricket in there. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. So, one slight issue. I started noticing a bunch of, let me get them. Yeah, get out of there. There you go. So, I started noticing a bunch of kind of like little fungus gnats and stuff. So, I'm assuming that I brought something in from outside with the natural bedding. So, not super pleased about that. I have to find my mosquito bits, and I'm going to mix that up and start spraying this to hopefully kill off those fungus gnats. But I want to start going ahead and trying to keep piling this up so we can start getting this fresh bedding from the last time kind of used. And I do have some more leaves to add here. I'm going to go ahead and start moving everything kind of over, piling it up. Yeah, so many worms still down near the bottom too. There's corn on the cob from the last feeding. Hey, got some small worms. That's a good sight. Oh, one of the broccoli stems. Oh yeah, I had some husks that I added in here too. I had these paper towel rolls. That'll be where I give them their feeding this time. And I'm just going to add maybe about half of this bag of leaves. Okay, I think I'm going to take one of the gloves off. I definitely want to go ahead and thank you guys that have subscribed. This channel's growing nicely. Like I said before, everybody's asking some good questions, which is nice. For the most part, I'll try to answer anything in the comment section, but if I need to elaborate more, I can always do it in a video. So like I said, keep asking those questions. Today, I'm doing a pretty substantial feeding because it's been 3 weeks and basically all that was left was those corn cobs. So I have a little bit of watermelon. I have some lettuce that went ahead and went bad in the fridge. That I then froze. You can see there's some ice crystals in there, so that'll help kind of add a little moisture. And then my last bit of frozen pulp. To this, I'm going to add some ground up eggshells. I like the ground up eggshells as a good source of grit for the worms. This also helps to add a little bit of calcium eventually into the castings and the garden. The calcium is not bioavailable right now. It needs to be basically processed with the worms and the bacteria to eventually break that down and make the calcium available for the plants. Ground up eggshells are on the basic side. So if this bin starts to become acidic, adding the ground up eggshells actually helps to bring it back towards neutral, and neutral is a pH of 7. So that's why I like to add the ground up eggshell for the grit. After I add the feeding, I like to get some type of castings on and covering the grit. Oh yeah, this was from the last feeding. I had the dill seed, the tops. And then what I plan on doing, because I have all this bedding over here, is now that this is somewhat covered, is coming back over the top. So with European night crawlers, they love their bedding. So I want to keep it very rich with the bedding. That's the ground up shredded paper, the chopped up leaves. These are all good sources of bedding for the worms. And then, as I said before, luckily right now I don't see too many of the flying bugs, but I am going to look for my mosquito bits and then mix them up in some water. I can go ahead and make a video on that and then show you how I'm going to kind of mist everything. The thing with fungus gnats, they reproduce on like a 21-day schedule. So you actually have to stay on top of spraying everything down for at least 21 days. This is going to be at least a 3-week mission to try to eradicate these guys. On top of this feeding, I'm going to add my chicken crumbles that I blended up in the Magic Bullet blender. The worms have been eating that, which I'm very happy with. And for the most part, the worms are staying pretty big. So I think it's working out well. So I'm just going to keep adding it in moderation, possibly about maybe 1 ounce to 2 ounces is what I added. A lot of times with the worm chow, I'm not adding a ton of it. Like I'm not putting a half a cup or a full cup in. This is almost just an extra or an amendment for them. This is not their main source of food. I did have a question the other day about almond flour and coconut flour and things like that. You can use that. I would just use it in moderation. The reason why is it has carbohydrates in it, and that's what the worms are looking for, but it can also pull in and absorb moisture, which then can lead to lumping and clumping, and just too much is kind of not a good thing. So keep it in moderation. Like I said, I wouldn't go any more than, you know, about 2 ounces for feeding, because the bedding and the food scraps are what the worms are actually going for. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them down in the comments. Please keep subscribing. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming along, checking out the video. Everybody have a great day.